And hello fellow Techers, Space Bandit here with another episode of World of Tanks, and today we will continue reminiscing about old maps that used to be in World of Tanks but are currently coming back in the near future. And today we're gonna look at map Lakeville. One of my most favorite maps in the game. Well, there are a few maps in the game that I really like that are not in a rotation right now, but out of the maps that are coming back, the 4 of them that are coming back are probably some of the best maps, including Erlenberg, which I already covered in my earlier video, Lakeville, which I'm going to show you now, Thiepval Ridge, another fantastic map, and Razieni, maybe not as good as the 3 that I'm going to show you first, but Razieni is still pretty decent map that I think you guys will enjoy. So before we begin here, let's talk about key positions on this map. So as you notice here, I'm going up the valley, and valley is one of the key positions here because there's a lot of brawling happening in this area, but also a lot of arty fire. You will see arties pre-aiming this position almost all the time because these are easy shots for arty here. And usually whoever wins the valley, this area here, controls the west side of the map and then has vision onto the field into town through that big lake in the middle. So it is beneficial to win this area here, but is it key to win the game? I don't know. It's hard to say. You can still win the game if you don't have this area, if you don't win those positions, but it's going to be very difficult to control the vision at that point in time. What I found good players do in the past is try to stick around positions H4 from south spawn or C4 from north spawn in order to have shots across the lake if there's anything spotted going into town. And going into town could be a difficult proposition, to be honest, because if you can actually make it through K-line or through A-line all the way up to town, coming out of town is extremely difficult. Maybe not around 8 lane, but once you pass the 8 lane and trying to get into positions B3 or positions J3, it's usually where the base caps are. On this map there is no base caps because it's a team distraction mode, but if there are base caps, they're usually at position B3 for the north spawn and J3 for the south spawn. So imagine winning the city and trying to get into those positions. You have to cut across the open field, and that's where it becomes difficult because you're gonna get sniped trying to cross the open field. So that's why I used to see a lot of good players try to win this area first and then come back to either defend the base or push through to the opposition base. Doesn't matter which side. Now another play that's quite common for this map too, usually tanks with very good armor used to push really hard up the lake road or 4 line, because if you can push up the 4 line very early in the game, there will be no one in town trying to shoot you. So if you can get yourself in a position where you can spot all these tanks going across to town, you would get a lot of assisted damage just by doing that. Light tanks would make that play as well. There are a couple bushes on the 4 line that are quite viable for light tanks in order to spot across the map, but the problem with that is once you get spotted, you can get easily annihilated and taken out because there's really not much cover going up the lake road or 4 line, which exposes you quite significantly. Now I don't know in current meta and the camos of the tanks nowadays whether that play is going to be viable for light tanks. It might be, but we'll yet to see if that's actually the case. So as you notice here, the game I'm showing you today, my team actually pushed hard into the valley and we were able to clean up over here. Now I was a little bit upset here in this game because we could have made that push a lot earlier and my team was stalling. They blocked me. I couldn't get through in order to push harder because as you notice here, a push was late and the opposing team already managed to come out of town and they'll be pushing completely the south side of the map, which is not desirable, but we're gonna have to deal with it somehow. So in this situation, if there were actually base gaps, I would probably turn around here and go back to defend the base. Now where you see this Ferdinand, it's a viable defensive position in order to defend the base for the north spawn. So you can see sometimes some players making that play. They would stay in this position, especially TDs, they would stay in this position, they would snipe across the map, and then if their team would lose the valley they would basically turn around and defend the base. So this map is good for any type of vehicle, to be honest. For light tanks, for heavy tanks, because for heavy tanks you can just go valley and brawl over there. For TDs you can just sit here on the edges of the lake and fire across the lake into town. And light tanks, you can scout, you know, on the other side of the lake. You can try to come up the lake road over here and also scout across the map. So there's quite a few positions on this map. That's why this map is so beautiful. There's open space in the middle. There's some cover in town if you want to brawl out, if you can make it there, I repeat, because usually slow tanks will get caught in the middle, like this T-32 for instance. See, if you're spotted and get caught on one side or the other side, you're gonna get annihilated quite easily. So easy shots of damage here for me. But the key thing right now is to take out this Ferdinand. He's spotting all of us right now. So once we take him out, we will be able to push forward and try to engage the Reds that are on the other side of the map. Now, I had a choice to make over here. If I went up the lake road, I might be able to spot these guys that are in the field. But I wasn't sure if I'm not going to get outspotted. I know the Czech medium, Skoda T50, is still in the game, and he has a good view range, so I didn't want to risk it, so I decided to cut through town. Now I'm hoping here that our heavy tanks can hold on the 2 line, and if they can hold, then maybe we can spot these guys trying to get into K4 and then engage them. As you notice here, I'm taking the long way. Now I don't know if that was a good play or not. Maybe I should have just cut across and spot, but again, if I got caught in the open and Skoda catches me in the open, I could easily get annihilated because he could put easily 3 shells into me and take me out of the game, or get me down in health because maybe he wouldn't be able to clip me out at this point in time. Still, this is the long route, so we're gonna go all the way around. Yes, I'm gonna poke out here to spot right now. As you notice here, my TD got taken out. There was a Ferdinand on the lake road and he didn't make it. That means that the Skoda was actually spotting the lake road and was able to take him out of the game. Unfortunately, our 2 heavy tanks got taken out and it came down to 1v3 situation here. And you can see me approaching this side of the map right here, close to the lake. That is the way to do it, guys, because if you get closer to the lake, you'll hit the low ground and you should be able to approach this position just like that quite easily. Now, I was hoping I can catch these guys one by one. I was hoping that some of them would push up north and some of them would come back south so that we can engage them here. So we're gonna just stay here because we have nice cover. We're gonna push up just a little bit just to see if we can spot anyone. There's the Lycan, so we're gonna put a shell into him right there. And now I was wondering, are his friends with him or is he here all by himself? And I don't know, I didn't have an answer, but I figured, you know what, since I have him pinned down, I should push him right here, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do, but I will make a misplay. Here, what I should have done, I should have went on top of that mini hill in front of me and engage him, because I would have a high ground. But because I didn't, I'm forced to play run around the rosy with him, and I won't be able to take him out. At the same time, Skoda T50 is gonna show up from my left side. And I knew at this point that I'm in trouble, big trouble, because I cannot take the Skoda out of the game. And he's got 3-clip autoloader, so it's pretty much game over for me over here. But, you know, I put in a valiant effort at a time. I was kicking myself, I remember, at the end of this game, because I had a decent game. And if I made the right play, I could have actually still carried this. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. Anyway, fantastic map, guys. This map is coming back into rotation sometime soon, and I'm pretty sure you will enjoy it. You will appreciate it. It's a fantastic map, and I'm glad that WOTC is bringing those old good maps back into the game, because, you know, without those maps, it was boring there for a while. But slowly, all these maps are making their way back, and that's just excellent news for all of us tankers. Wow, look at this lineup. Most of them PS4 players. Interesting. I didn't pay attention to that at the time. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thiepval Ridge is next. That's it for now. Until next time, happy tanking. Space Bandit, checking out.